better.
Touchscreen wide. Hi, everybody. It's Michelle Alcorn here from Atlantic Canada Cooks, and I am live on location here in Negro, Morocco, which actually is very region or province, and it's just a nice short drive and very close to the beach and amazing attractions and the best food. So today I couldn't be more excited to be sharing a taste of Morocco with you. This is my 4th trip here this year, and it's a wonderful way to end off 2024 and be celebrating all the fresh fruits, vegetables, and the dishes that I've been consuming a lot here in Morocco, and looking forward to continuing to do that. So, what are the most traditional Moroccan foods? And it's interesting because I should be starting my day with a nice cup of Moroccan tea, but I did not make any this morning because I know this afternoon I'm going to be drinking quite a bit of it at a family function that I'm going to be attending. But that is probably one of the most traditional ways a meal is started, or when you have company coming over your house. And what the neat thing is about Moroccan tea, and of course, we had to stop at the fresh markets, which here in Morocco are literally everywhere. So normally my mother and I, and my mom's home in Canada right now, would be visiting the farmers markets the day before the show. And it's 2 o'clock in the afternoon here in Morocco. And we were able to get fresh herbs, fruits, and vegetables. And the best part is they're sold everywhere here. Small stores, all the places. And you know that these are farm fresh. And most of these herbs would have been picked that morning. So amazing mint. And we laugh because I'm growing mint in my backyard, but not anymore. In Canada right now, the snow has started to come. So you would be mixing some of this beautiful traditional tea, and then you would put some nice fresh mint. Some people add a little sugar. I prefer to add a little honey to mine because honey is also an incredible ingredient that you'll see used in many things in Morocco. We're going to talk about some of those beautiful sweets here in a few minutes. So we're going to show you some great Moroccan tea next week by someone who knows what they're doing. And the most special thing is knowing how to pour that tea. And I have not been trained on that yet. So we're going to work on that one next week. So make sure you tune in next Sunday for some more Moroccan adventures. But we're going to be cooking. I'm going to cook one dish for you today that we're going to enjoy with some of my friends. And it is very traditional because what's going to be used is some beautiful chicken. So we're going to do a dish that has chicken. And then, of course, we're going to set this down. We're going to have some beautiful fresh raisins in that as well. And you'll see here, you can get the regular raisins or gold raisins, whatever you would like. And dates and everything are so available everywhere in this country. And just remember, Morocco's the #1 food culture in the world. So you must come visit and taste this for yourself. So we're going to use some raisins in that. And I've cut up some, I would say green onions, obviously red onions. And we've got them cut up into nice thin slices so we can get these to cook very evenly. So I'm going to get the stove going here so we can just get some of this recipe started. And I don't think any recipe is incomplete in the kitchen of Morocco without olive oil. And considering how much I love olives and olive oil, this is really the best country I could be in for that. So we've got some beautiful olive oil here. And many of you know Jawad. His family actually makes some of the best olive oil I have ever tried. So shukran. Thank you, Milou. This one I was able to get at the corner store. So one of the things that's really great in this country is we're always cooking with a nice gas stove. So here I've got a gas stove, which means it's going to heat up instantly. Unlike in Canada, where it takes a little bit of extra time. which is funny because we've got some friends visiting in Canada right now. And I've been giggling, so if Sufayan can hear me, he's been getting used to the burners in Canada and how long they take to get hot. And I think he had a few challenges cooking his eggs the first few days, but he's got it all figured out now. So we're just going to get the olive oil open, and I'm actually going to get Jawad to give me that open. Remember, we usually say open all your bottles first. Apparently, Michelle forgot to open up the olive oil. Thank you, Jawad. So we're going to start this dish, and this is a very simple and delicious dish. And I hope that you take the opportunity to make this at home, whatever country you're in. And I want to say a big hello to our Zoom audience, which I could see some of our friends. Hello, Shinobu in Japan. And we've got so many people here today. My mom, my Aunt Greta, and a few other guests on Zoom. But hi, YouTube. It's so good to see you here. And I've made some new friends along the way. And I think we've got some extra people joining us for YouTube. Remember, every Sunday you can see us live, but guess what? You could tune in anytime and explore any of these recipes. So I'm just going to get my burner. Look, Michelle's going to have a little fun with the gas here. I was making fun of Sufayan, and now I'm working on the gas. So we've seasoned our chicken. And I'm just going to show you the seasoning. So what I've done is I've taken some beautiful, and I use chicken breast today, but I really love this dish with chicken thighs. But I've cut them into small pieces. And I wish we had smell-o-vision, that you could smell this right now. But I've seasoned this with some cumin, salt, pepper, and a little bit of garlic powder has gone across the top of it. And I seasoned this about 3 or 4 hours ago, so we know those flavors are great. This dish is made in one pan. And I wish I had a tagine here today at the apartment, but you're going to hear that nice chicken sizzle. And we're going to start by getting the chicken just started cooking. And we're going to get a little sear on this. I'm going to get these pieces in here. They're going to cook fairly quickly. So it's important to remember that. So don't walk away from the stove on this one. And we're going to get this in here. My mom is here. And normally she's in the back helping. So I'm missing my sous chef today. But that's okay. We'll get it through. I bet you what if I need an extra sous chef, but we're keeping it simple today and just one cooked dish. Because you know what? There's so many amazing cooks, bakeries. You can buy the best and freshest ingredients all the time. So the chicken's in. It's only going to take maybe 1-2 minutes per side. And I'm going to hold this up so you can see that. And you can see how quickly, hopefully, that chicken is cooking. Get that back in the heat. I think I'm going to treat myself to a propane stove at some point when I get home. That's perfect. And again, the smell is already delicious. You can smell that cumin and those wonderful seasonings. I'm going to get that over. And what we're going to do with this particular recipe is I'm going to remove the chicken from the pan once I cook the other side. And I'm just going to set it aside on a plate because I'm going to be bringing that back in to add with my other ingredients. So that is cooking very quickly. I can see the side of the chicken. At this stage, don't cook it all the way through because we want it to finish cooking with all the other ingredients. So that's already done very quickly. We're going to take these out of the pan, set them up to the side. Look at that. Delicious. Not ready to eat yet. So as I said, one pan. So now we're going to add, I've got a half of this diced onion here, and we're going to add this in. I'm going to get that cooking. And I'm just going to let those onions simmer a little bit. And I've got a nice fresh clove of garlic here. And I'm just gonna make sure I get a couple of pieces. And remember the rule on Cooking Club, always add extra garlic. So we're gonna make sure that we keep to the theme while we're here. I put a lot of the seasoning already inside with the cumin and paprika. I'm gonna add a little turmeric in with my onions. And it's really great. Thank you to Milu for bringing this from her kitchen for me. Jawad was my delivery boy today. And we're gonna get a little bit of that in the onions. There we go. And that's gonna add some color and definitely some great flavor. So everything is about the cooked. Take time in your kitchen and have fun with your food. Explore some of these food cultures that we don't always have a chance to explore. What I like, it means I can bring Morocco to my kitchen in Canada anytime and be able to enjoy these great flavors. So I'm just going to add a little bit of salt and pepper in with the onions. It's important to add a little bit of salt always in when you're cooking onions. It brings out the moisture and it brings out the flavor in those onions. And because I've already put salt and pepper on the chicken, I'm only going to use a small amount so that we don't over season it, because if you would like some more seasoning, you're more than welcome to add that once it gets to your table. And I must say, here in Morocco, I rarely add any seasoning to anybody's dishes because, of course, they're perfectly cooked. And a big thank you to every Moroccan mom. Shukran. Teach your kids all of those beautiful dishes so we can keep that going on for generations. So we got this. Oh, those are gonna look perfect. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to add some of that garlic that I've got here. And you just take the side of your knife and push down on that garlic. It'll come out perfectly. And we're going to put that into the pan. So we get that beautiful garlic flavor through the entire recipe. Get this one out of this. There we go. Ooh, onions and garlic. It's like I could eat just a bowl of that. Now, we've got these ingredients, and as I said, this is gas stove. So it's cooking quite quickly. Get this around. And I've got these beautiful raisins that I'm going to add. And I'm smiling. I'm using black dishes today. And it makes me realize it's a little bit more challenging to see the ingredients than using white plates. So you can see the beautiful raisins. And for the amount I'm doing, I'm putting about half a cup of raisins that are going to go in there. I'm just going to bring this over so that you can see that. Oh, just the added scent when the raisins and the onions go in. So, and you can see the onions are nice and soft, and we're just going to let those simmer. Now, some people use chicken stock. That's great. We don't always have chicken stock. So I boiled some water earlier. So what I'm just going to do is I'm going to put some warm water in the pan. You want to use a warm or hot water so that you don't reduce the cooking that's already going. A good kitchen tip. And I love it. I'm sitting over here with my other fresh herbs I'm going to add here. So this is going to create a little bit of a gravy or a sauce. And I'm smiling. What do we always say, Jawad? Food is meant to be sauced. So we want to make sure that you have those beautiful flavors with those dishes. So this is, oh, look at that. So quickly this dish comes together. You can see the steam coming off. It's amazing. You can smell the scent. I am excited because, you know what, Jawad and I have cooked together in his kitchen, but it's been a while. So it's nice that he's going to get a chance to taste that food. Thank you, Jawad, because you watch every week and you make sure we're technically supported. And then you end, I'm sure you're hungry. So today you get to eat. That's a special treat. So because the temperature is now back to the level I would like it, I'm going to add the chicken back in. So remember, we've got the chicken that was partially cooked. And we're just going to put that right into the pan so we can let all of that cook together. And now this really just needs to sit for about another 15 to 20 minutes to get that flavor through. But I do have one herb I'm going to add in. And of course, these are the fun ones, parsley and cilantro. They look the same, but they're totally different. And I can see my mom in the kitchen, which is so much fun because if you can imagine, one of my good friends, Sufayan, is sitting next to my mother in the kitchen. And hopefully, Sufayan, you were the one that suggested I make this dish. So I followed your direction. Thank you very much for that. We're not going to use the parsley this time. We're going to use the nice fresh cilantro. And as they said here in Morocco, I know that it was picked fresh every day. So that's such a beautiful experience. The aroma is amazing. You can smell it as soon as it comes out. So, and the other thing about cilantro is you can use all of the stems. So we've washed the cilantro very well. You don't need to be perfect. We're just going to rip this up and put it into the pan and let nature flavor the rest of this dish. That looks, oh, as soon as the cilantro hits the heat, we're just adding more aroma to this dish. And I have to sit and laugh because, Jawad, how's that smell?
Whoa, we wish we had smell vision.
Right? So my technical team, I'm challenging them to figure out a way we can do that. They're pretty smart. So we'll see where we're going. I'm going to show you how the dish is looking. Get a little bit of that steam. You can see how hot it is. Those beautiful onions and the raisins. And we are going to finish this dish off in a few minutes. I'm just going to let this simmer for a couple more minutes. And then we're going to add some olives to top this dish off. So while that's simmering, I'm just going to put a lid on the top so that we can keep that heat in. And if I had a tagine this week, we would be cooking this in the tagine, which of course the shape of that really helps keep the moisture in your dish. And it's a beautiful way to cook. And by the way, you can buy tagines all over the world, but make sure you get one that was made in Morocco. And hi to my friends at the Rabia store, and they sell them in Moncton, New Brunswick. And that's where I bought mine because it's big to put in my suitcase. A little bit heavy. And now what I'm going to do here, because the heat is really strong, I'm just going to turn the burner off. Here we go. And we're just going to let that sit, and it will finish and keep that flavor for us. Set this down. I got to get a kitchen cloth because one thing when you're working with turmeric, watch out because you're going to get a yellow hand when you're cooking with that spice. Here we go. So no meal in Morocco is complete without some bread. Or as we would say, hops. So this is where this again, there are many people that bake it at home, but why bother? When you can go out the front door of your house to your closest favorite bakery and pick up the bread that was made fresh with the steam still coming off it. So we're going to show you how to use this bread. You can get all types of bread here. This is probably the most traditional you're going to see. And my favorite thing, this is a little mini one. See? But you can get them very large. So depending on how many friends or family you have to come visit, you won't have a challenge getting great fresh bread. So we were talking about olives because one of the things I'm going to complete my dish with is some olives. And I feel like I'm in olive heaven. I have traveled to Italy many times, and Italy, thank you, gracias. I like your olives, but I think I've fallen in love with Moroccan olives even more. So here's the traditional green olive that we're all used to. I get to take a quality control test every time when I'm doing this. And here I've also got some beautiful red olives, or a Kalamata olive, as many of us know them. These ones have a little bit of seasoning on them. And I always have to watch because sometimes they're very picante, very hot. These ones just have some herbs in them. And these ones still have the seeds in them, but that's great. The green ones I'm going to put in to finish my dish. Don't have any seeds in them, so it's nice to finish that dish off. So let's get the olives in with the chicken. Woo! And let's not drop the salt. It already looks amazing. So what I'm going to do, all of those olives are going in this dish. So there we go. And you want to put the olives in last. And one of the reasons why we do this is we want to keep that fresh olive flavor. There are many other dishes where you would cook the olives at the beginning and put them through. But this dish, we want that nice crisp olive flavor to finish it off. Look at that onion crawling out of the pan. So there we have it. We've got that complete dish. Once I put it on the plate, I'm just going to put a little lemon or lime juice across the top to finish it. And it smells perfect. I'm excited to try that. So as we take a little bit more of an exploration, it's all about fresh ingredients, as we said. So when you're going to the bakery, I think I've gone to heaven. Go look at the bakeries here. I'm not going to remember the names of all of the cakes or cookies, but in here we've got some beautiful pastries, and these are glazed often with honey. This one has some chocolate inside of it. Look at this one. My mother loves to buy these ones at home on Saturdays from Copad Bakery in Moncton. And here we have them fresh here. So when you travel around the world, just know that you can get your home flavors in most places, and you're always going to find good bakers. And then I love these little croissants. These ones are actually coated with a little bit of ground roasted flaxseed, which I think is amazing because you're adding some health and wellness to the dish as well. And I'm just going to set this down. These are one of my favorite, and these are just a beautiful cookie. And they are so soft and beautiful on the inside. This one has a little bit of a lemon flavor to it. And of course, I get to taste test it. I'm glad I do a lot of walking while I'm here, because it could be very dangerous with the amount of eating that I'm also doing along the way. So get out to your local bakers, and we always say support local, and local is wherever you are. And where am I right now? I'm in Morocco. So we make sure when we're shopping, we go to the smaller local shops as much as possible so we can support the local economy and keep it going. So speaking of supporting, yesterday I was visiting some friends, and they know I love the Massimin, or how's the other word?
Life.
Right. Michelle's working on that, I promise. So depending on the region you are in Morocco, you're going to see these flatbreads, and we have featured them before in Atlanta Canada Cooks. So please check out our YouTube channel and see some of our adventures that we've had. This is week 225. So it's been just over 4.5 years that we're focused on connecting the world with food. So these ones were picked up fresh yesterday. And it's funny because I was sitting there with my friends and they said, "You haven't had Massimin?" And they walked out the front door, and 5 minutes later, we're back with fresh Massimin. That might be one of my favorite experiences. And here's what's amazing. Look at the layers. Look at the layers of this bread. And those are just layers of flavor. Trust me. and or make a Moroccan friend in the city that you're in, and make sure you ask them to treat you to this amazing dish. For breakfast in the mornings, this is the dish. And what are you going to have with it? You're probably going to have some nice soft cheese, and I love it. We call this the laughing cow cheese in Canada, and it's the same brand here. So a nice soft cheese, you drizzle it with olive oil, some honey, or some jam. But almost every breakfast, you're going to see these beautiful flatbreads served. So have the opportunity, and I just love it. The layers and layers. And I made them with the support of my favorite Moroccan mom, Milou. But here's the deal. She did all the work. I did all the eating. So try the cinnamon. You will not be sorry. Now I've got the cinnamon on my hands. We're going to wipe that off. These are the flavors that are so important that you taste test. So one of the other things in Morocco is, snacking and different things is really getting nuts. And I love this country because it's one of the most sustainable countries in the world, which means Morocco can grow all of its own produce, nuts. They don't need to import a lot of different things here. And different seasons mean different things are growing. But I always see walnuts when I'm here. So, Mom, don't worry. I'll bring you home some Moroccan walnuts. I love it because when you go, they've been freshly cracked. Some of them still have the middle pieces of the shells, and they're amazing to add to anything. But these might be my favorite snacking ones. And these are coated almonds. And when you're going down the side, when we were on the beach this summer, they were selling these warm on the beach. So trust me, there are local vendors everywhere making these nuts, and you can get them anywhere for a snack. And I love it because you can actually get them for a quick snack when you're really hungry and you're getting that nice protein. And even the smallest little store always has nuts and candies. These particular ones are my favorite, and they're coated in dried rosemary. So, and there's a little bit of honey on that. So what you're going to get is the rosemary and the honey. And I'm going to put that in my hand. So hopefully you can see a little bit more of how that looks. This is great. These ones are coated in roasted flaxseed. So wonderful flavors. You can get them with spices and heat if you would like, as you like. Everything is going to be an option here. Trust me. The other thing is dried fruit. And because we're growing so much amazing fruit here in this country, the dried fruit is the best. So these are, and get these ones out. These are like a candied mango. And look at this. They're wonderful to eat as a snack, and they're beautiful to add to recipes. And I love mangoes because there's a certain sweetness to a mango that no other fruit can get. Again, when we get them in Canada, they've been a little while getting to our country. So here, I know I'm getting them the freshest ingredients all the time. I'm going to finish that mango later. So as we wrap up a few things, I'm going to end on a few fun notes, but let's talk about some fruit and vegetables. And we're going to come back to these because I've got a very special treat I'm going to share with everybody at the end. I'm going to put, and we're going to hide it so they don't see the size of the carton. So I want to talk about fruit. I hope you make sure you're eating lots of fruit. We want to help people stay healthy. And the goal of Atlantic Canada Cooks is also to get you back in your kitchen. Cook with your friends, cook with your family, and make sure that you take time to enjoy the food. No meal, lunch, or a dinner is complete without a huge bowl of fruit coming out. Now I'm staying here by myself, so I don't have near the size bowl that would usually be served at a Moroccan family table. But I certainly went for a little bit of variety. What I've learned traveling here is again the time of year when different fruits are more readily available than others. So now we've got some bananas here, which are super healthy. There are so many varieties of apples. And look at the size of that apple. And I have to say, around the world, we say, bring your teacher an apple. Well, I'm going to be working at one of the schools here this week. And I'm going to make sure that I bring some apples into the teachers. And because, apples are always health. And look at these beautiful pears. And this is a smaller one. The size of the pears that here are absolutely great. And they're perfectly ripe. Then I'm going to end with two of these ones. Look at the kiwi. I love it because I'm pretty sure at home our kiwis that we're importing are normally this size. So this is a huge size kiwi. We're going to be enjoying that after. But let's talk about oranges. And this is one of my favorite when I first came here, because when the oranges are imported into Canada, because we cannot grow oranges in our country due to the climate, we still have the leaves on them. It doesn't get much fresher than that. And we know that that was probably picked just within a couple of days. And I will tell you, when I was picking these up, I was watching the two women beside me search for the best oranges, and I just copied what they did. Because at home, I usually just buy the oranges that are there. It's so wonderful here to have many, many more choices. So beautiful oranges. I'll be enjoying some of those later. So what a great way to end off meals. So I'm looking down at my table and look at the size of these peppers. And when I was buying this one, I was shopping with my friend Tofik and I said, is this a hot pepper? So this is a nice sweet pepper. We are so used to seeing the normal, beautiful red and yellow, but we've got an extra of these and they're poblanos peppers and they are amazing. But let's talk about avocados. I think in Canada, the most we usually do with avocados is put them in guacamole or maybe some avocado toast. But when you come here to Morocco, you're going to see these in so many juices. I want to say thank you, Soufiane. He recently made me a typical Moroccan avocado smoothie with some nice granola. And we put some extra with a nice drizzle of honey on the top. So we're going to share some of these avocado recipes. It's one of the healthiest fats, good for your heart. So get a few more avocados in your life. And if you can find them from Morocco, I suggest you try those. So I'm going to talk one more thing about condiments, and then we're going to wrap up today's episode. And we hope that you check out some of our shorts and the things that we've done and get inspired with some of the recipes. We have formally cooked over 2,000 recipes over the last 4 years. And it's just amazing. And many other guest cooks. And you can look forward to that coming up. But you're always going to get some good sauces here. So mayonnaise and mustard, but I love this one. And it's actually an Algerian seasoning. So thank you to our neighbors. And this is just a really great blend of a little bit of everything inside of it. And I would read you the ingredients, but they're in Arabic. So Michelle's not going to be able to read those ingredients today. But try some of the sauces and seasoning. I know I can now buy this in Moncton, New Brunswick, because we've got some great people importing them into there. So I'll look forward to adding this to my refrigerator at home when I get home. So one of the things here is it's always about the gift of giving and sharing with people. When you get your dishes and you get a big meal at the table, everybody's taking the opportunity to share. This afternoon, I'm going to be enjoying this, which is one of those, the most traditional meals. And you check out our YouTube channel later, at our Instagram and Facebook accounts because I'll be taking some beautiful pictures of the dish that I'm going to have. So thank you, Amal, in advance because I know it's going to be amazing. Now, my good friends and some of my friends' moms spoil me always. And last I came back, and hopefully you can see the size of this container. So, mom in Canada, my mom Helen, you can get excited because this is being sent home for us to enjoy. And my aunt Greta's on here too, my dad's sister, and she hasn't had a chance to try these. So, oh, Greta, I'm going to make sure we save some of these for you. And I'm going to look, it's 4 layers deep. And Joanne, what's the name of this one? Help me to remind me of that. Or do you want to come up and talk for a second? Because
Almond and peanuts.
almonds and peanuts, but walnuts.
And walnuts on the top.
Right.
Yeah.
So the thing to know about a lot of the cookies here are actually made out of ground nuts. There's not a lot of regular flour, which means they're even healthier. And these are this cookie you'll see everywhere, and I'm going to hold it up. You can see the beautiful, and it is so soft. It's going to crumble in my hand, and it's got that beautiful walnut perfectly placed on top. So when this breaks open, and you're going to see just how soft that is. Look at the color of all the ground nuts that are in there, with a tiny bit of what we call icing sugar, the white powdered sugar on the outside. No, which gives it a little extra sweet. And it is so creamy in your mouth and soft. And the nice thing about these is they freeze really well and they do keep quite a while. So it's a cookie that you can eat for a long time. So I'm going to keep these frozen because these are going to be coming back to Canada with me in a couple of weeks. The number one challenge I'm going to have is not eating a lot of them prior to that. I'm going to finish this cookie after. So our Moroccan traditional food journey is going to come to an end. And I want to say thank you so much for joining us. And just remember, when you go into all the homes, those beautiful spices like cumin, paprika, ground ginger, you're going to see those spices in every household here. So add those to your spice cabinet at home and add some more Moroccan flavor into your day-to-day meals. Enjoy the health and wellness. And I've said this before, I love coming to this country because I've met some of the friendliest people in the world, 100% for sure, but some of the healthiest people in the world. And I know in Canada and North America, we eat a lot more processed foods. So we hope we've inspired you today to get back in your kitchen and enjoy some of those foods. So we've got our beautiful Atlantic Canada Cooks postcards. And as we said before, if you send us a message, we will mail one of these to wherever you are in the world. So we hope that you send us a direct message and we'll make sure we get those mailed. And it's so awesome because Jawad's soon going to be in Canada and he doesn't even know that I'm going to task him with making sure those get mailed out to everybody. Besides the fact, he's just going to enjoy seeing that. So I'm going to invite Jawad up. Thank you so much. She's always in the back, making sure we're well connected.
Hi, everyone.
He's good as Atlantic Canada Cooks on. What do you want to say for your live episode? Because the next time you and I are going to be together, it's going to be in my kitchen in Canada.
Yeah, and I'll be cooking from your kitchen.
Exactly.
And I'll have Helen with me to support. And she will do great as usual. Yeah.
Right? Mom, you're thinking you're not going to have to back up cook anymore. But you know what? All of our viewers love to see you, Mom, and sharing your beautiful insights and your stories from my childhood. So we're happy that Joanne's going to get to experience a bit of that.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. After 2 years, like.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Moms around the world. Shukran.
Shukran.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Merci. We appreciate all you do. So stay inspired, keep having fun, and get in your kitchen and get cooking. Thank you so much for joining us today. And next Saturday, maybe Saturday, I'll film some of it.
Yeah.
But next Sunday, you're going to see us probably at a restaurant, and we're going to share some of the traditional dishes that take a lot longer to cook. So maybe you're just going to see me getting a chance to eat them.
Yep. Of course.
It's all good. Thanks, everybody.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.